Hey guys, I'm Elliot. I'm the developer of Gata Guressi, which is a sci-fi adventure game about translating languages and then using those translations to progress through the story and find your brother who's gone missing. The game takes place across multiple planets, and I'll just get right into it. Today I'm going to be talking about some of the design decisions in the gameplay, in the story, the environment, as I go along. And today we're playing the demo, which is out on Steam now. So we start off on the planet of Guresin, year 487, after Guresin's Dark Age, which will be explained a bit later. So this is Satol, this is our brother in the game, and we've just found a big valuable load of a resource called Yelsek, um, and we're deciding what to do with it. Kubo is our player character, who wants to hold on to the Yelsek, but Satchel has different ideas. He intends to sell the Yelsek, which he does on a different planet, Bowen. So it's very common for the people of this planet to take this resource and export it to another planet, where they'll make more money off of exporting it. It's a lot more common on this planet. They'll make more by exporting it. You also get an early look at the translation system here. So right now we're speaking Greska, which is a language that our character already speaks. But down the line, we might encounter languages, or will encounter languages that we can't speak, and we'll have to do some manual translating to figure out what they mean. So that was our intro cutscene. We're now headed into Willa Creeblot, and this is the protagonist's home. This is a former slaving operation. The people of Guresin have kind of a dark history with a slaving government that they've recently been freed from the past couple years. And now people have moved into these old slaving operations and kind of reclaimed them as big housing units. But we gotta wear masks in here because, as you can see, there's a lot of smoke. It's not really the best living conditions, but it's a lot warmer than it is outside, so it's the optimal place to live. So now we're heading upstairs. We're telling people as we go in our community about the Yelsek we found. This community is pretty tight-knit. These guys have been around together since during the Dark Age as well. And then they've all moved in here together. So yep, we found so much Yelsek. Very good. Very good. As you can see, this area has been kind of shoddily put together here. The big structure itself was already here, but as these people have moved in, they've added a lot of their own things. They've kind of scrapped together a walkway here, and there's lots more stuff around. They've built little houses out of scrap metal, which is abundant here, and kind of made it more into a home. So here we say we found a whole robot of Yelsek. Yelsek is a resource used in technology, something used for all modern technology in this universe. And by a whole robot, what we mean here is this is like an entire robot's worth of it. Might go back and make that worded a little better. I always like putting characters in my games that are trying to sell something and nobody wants to buy it. Always fun. And then we've got Powell over here. This is Satol's girlfriend, who we'll talk to a bit more later on. We can also see some written text here. This is all over the place, and I encourage you to check it out wherever you find it in the demo if you take a play. But we can read this right here and see what it says. It says Opwesi sign. No arguing, no pain, we watch you. A threat from the Opwesi slave owners to the former slaves. So this is something that's been here since before we moved in. And you can actually kind of see what written Gureska, which is the language that we're speaking, looks like. This language is a lot of fun to make. There's a lot of languages in this game, actually. There's 11 total. For the time being, we're just using the one that we already know to start off the game, but we'll be introduced to them later on. Here you can actually see another example of the text, where it said one thing, but or not us, but somebody came along and crossed it out and changed what it means. And then just telling them about the Yelsek. and Sattel plans to fly to Calais Tiridor. And so this is a trade port, the Pinnacle trade port, on the planet Voen, which was mentioned before, which is a really high-class establishment. It's the closest really high-class place to here. So it's the best place to go to really get the bang for your buck when selling Yelsek. And yeah, you can become rich there. This stuff back here is Yelsek too. So it's a pretty common resource here, but around the rest of the system, it's a lot rarer. So when we export it, it makes a lot of money for us. So we're gonna get some rest. Yeah, long day. All right, 8 days later, and we haven't heard from Sattel. This can't be normal. Sattel's been gone for days. He always updates me on what's happening, and I haven't heard anything from him. Something happened. I gotta go find him. I bet I could borrow Paryl's ship. That was Sattel's girlfriend. She loves Sattel. So, we gotta find Sattel. I guess we'll see what Paryl has to say. What's wrong? We haven't heard anything from Sattel, and that something bad might have happened. We want to borrow the spaceship so that we can fly to Voen and find him for ourselves. So great, we can borrow the ship, but Paryl has Yelsek as well that we have to sell there. That's kind of challenging for us because we're not a trader. Sattel always kind of does this stuff for us, exports what we find, and our character just stays behind. But looks like we don't have much of a choice here, so we'll have to figure out how to make trade deals and stuff while we're there. Looks like we also need a translator. People that do not speak Guresca like us. So we'll head over to the market, and Moral over there should have one. Got some other traders here too, but we'll just talk to Moral. Google, you want to buy something? Yes, a translator. And yep, there it is. It's not high quality, but it'll work. And we do not know how it works, so let's figure it out. The common language is Hieska. You can see that this is a different language being spoken here by the difference in the color and the word box. This shape we've seen so far is an indication that these are Guresca words, but some Hieska is mixed in here as well. We've seen it happen before too, but certain words are kind of spoken by everyone, even if they're not in the same language. We do not speak Hieska here, sure, but it's common everywhere else. The translator has a little Hieska installed, so now we'll test that it works. Alright, and here we go. This is our first taste of translating. The people of the Here system speak many different languages. The dictionary on the right side of your screen has definitions for the words they use. Right-click the words in the dialog box at the bottom of your screen, search for them, drag suitable definitions in. Cool. So how this works, we can right-click on these words, it searches in our dictionary, and there we can see the word ven, which over here we don't know what that means, but over here we can see it means hello or goodbye. So now we have a decision to make. Is he likely saying hello or goodbye here? Probably hello. Then this punctuation, we can just drag right over. Gi, this could mean any of these things. We'll say I am, and then there's no result for Moral, but that's just because it's his name. So we could just bring it straight in. And awesome, we did it, and we just got 10 points for it, which will be relevant down the line. All right, so now it's our turn to respond. So we're going to translate now from what we want to say in English into Hieska, which is this new language we're speaking. We also have the opportunity to type in words ourselves. So if we remember from before, hello was ven. So we can type it in there, and it just figured it out, and we can also just go double check, and yep, that's what it was. So pretty basic stuff for now, just going word for word. But as we go along, things will definitely get more advanced. The different languages also have different sort of translation challenges that come with them, and they work differently, just like real world languages, which is kind of a lot of the fun of this game, I think. So great, the translator works, and we'll learn more with time. And now we can head over and get the ship again. Or not again. Get the ship for the first time. Alright. We have the translator. Sweet, and we can get over to the ship now. Before we go outside, I just want to talk about this area a little bit. I'm really happy with how this turned out. This has been something I was working on recently, kind of towards the start of 2026. And the look here is very gritty and rugged compared to where we're headed next. And I think the contrast is really cool. It was really fun to set up all these swinging chains and all the rattling and sound effects and everything. Yeah, really happy with how it turned out. Here we can actually see that same sign that we saw before, but someone's written over the top. And going around this area and looking around, you'll actually see there's quite a bit of graffiti over the old things that were written by the old slave owners. So what I said before was, no arguing, no pain, we watch you. But someone wrote over the top, die enemies, watch item of me, which here we get this extra little helping thing here, which means this is something that we've literally translated from Guresca, this language, but doesn't literally translate quite the same into English. But here what this means is item of me, like my item, my ass, or my butt. They're saying watch my butt. And then another cool little detail here is they've actually got a literal character in the written text for laughing, which is kind of fun, kind of like a laughing emoji. There's the ship. Looks like Parallel already loaded it up, so we're good to go. Really happy with how the environment turned out here too. I used the so this is made in Unity. I used the Unity default terrains for this, which I normally hate, but they worked out really good in this case. And I'm pretty happy with what I got here. And then we can see the whole Wella Creeplot smokestack major behind us. And then we've only really been in this small section of it this whole time. But let's head off. We can see Parallel ship here too, and there's some things around to inspect, but we'll just get going. Really happy with how those flame particles turned out too. All right, here we are on Voen, the planet that Sattel had gone off to sell all the Yelsek. So we're told to land in the high-class ship dock, which is kind of confusing to Kuvol. Doesn't make a lot of sense. We're clearly not high class. This ship is for transporting things. It's not anything too fancy. Here we are at Calais Tiridor, trade port and bar. All right, I'm gonna have to ask around to figure out where Sattel is. This translator is set up with a bit of Hieska, which Morel said was the common tongue. Chances are that person sitting outside speaks Hieska. I can figure out the basics speaking to them, then ask about Sattel. Alright, and we gotta learn more Hieska. So, now that we're no longer on Guressin, nobody's gonna speak Guresca, which is our native language. And we're now hit with the challenge that all language, all spoken and written text and words in this game are going to be in languages we don't understand. So, it's now our job to learn them, to find Sattel, and also sell Parallels to Yelsek while we're here. So, starting out pretty easy. This is one we've done before. Ven Gi Hyo Kuvol. Hello, I'm Kuvol. And they respond with, hello. I am Cestus. Great. Easy stuff so far. This seems like a good opportunity to figure out the basics. Our translator also has a language information section in the top left of our screen. It It'll help us phrase sentences and install upgrades to the translator. As we complete translations, it'll find relevant upgrades to improve our capabilities. And for this translation, we're going to need to go to the upgrades button and install the trade and ownership upgrade. So if we hit this up here, we can see we've got 40 points in Hieska here, and we can get this trade and ownership upgrade, which, as we can see here, this is going to give us access to some new words. We can see tier right there, which we don't have a... Well, I kind of spoiled it because I already know what the word is, but we don't have a word for trader. We go up here, let's get this trade and ownership upgrade, and we can find out tier is trader. So we'll grab the... Oh, not the English one, the Hieska one. Grab that down, and then we'll go Gi, I, Hio, Am. And now that we've actually used these words a few times, you kind of got start to draw the lines between them, right? Like we used Hio multiple times here, so we can start to remember that it's to be, right? Same for Ven being hello, and Gi for I. We also have this word a here. It says Hieska doesn't use this word. You can ignore it. So this is a word we use in English, but this is not a word that's going to matter to us in other languages. This is just something that the game will kind of help us out with so that we don't have to worry about words like a or the. They'll just get auto-filled in. Our dictionary is still limited. When we encounter a word we don't know, it's always worth checking the upgrades button for any available upgrades, so we'll go do that now. If no upgrades are available, we can always come back to the conversation after we've learned more of the language. And we can also drag this language slider in the top right to tune our translator to different languages. As we learn new languages, new notches will be added to the slider. So now we can go across here and actually compare words across different things. We can see we've got the Hieska dictionary as well as the Greska one, which is the language we were speaking before. This one isn't too important to us because we already speak it kind of natively. It'll just translate for us. But we can still go through and actually see all the literal definitions of the words we're using. So over here in Hieska, we're going to go back and just do this one. Gi, live on. We don't have any results for this, so chances are we have to go up here and go to places and travel, install that, and there we go, Bria. To live, live in, live on, occupy, spread to. We'll grab that, and then we'll look for Guressin. And now this word, we can actually see this is being used in English as is. That's just because this is the name of the planet. This doesn't have a literal word in English that translates to, so we can just use it as is. We can just bring it in here. Ki Bria Guressin. I'm going to try a question. I'll need to phrase it so it makes sense in Hieska. The structure tab in the top left has information on grammar and sentence structure. We can use it to structure different types of sentences, like questions, which we've got here. Here we can see there's another weird shape on this box. It says we can ignore this word. So luckily we don't need to worry about that. We can just go for where you live. So let's start with that. Where, door, tag, you, live, Bria from before. But for some reason that didn't work. We can double check, and yeah, do is not used in this language, so we can ignore it. So what went wrong here? Well, luckily we've got the language info section up here, and we can look at the structure information for this. And so this is where the languages start to really get different from English, where it's not just a word-for-word translation. So, for example, we can see subject, verb, object order. This is the same as English. We say the subject, I, verb, love, object, music. And that's the same in Hieska, Gi, Pari, Ayet. But we can also see that languages use the same word order as statements. So instead of saying, are you stupid, we would say, you are stupid, as a question. So with that in mind, how would we word this? Instead of where you live, probably do you live where. So we can bring this over here, and there we go, we got it. Certain words are global, meaning they're understood by everyone in here. Global words can be mixed in with here's other languages. Global words from all languages can be found in the global notch on the language slider. So that's this up here. If we head over, we can see that there's some words from multiple languages here. We're starting to get into languages we haven't even seen yet. There's Calais from Calais Tiridor, we'll remember. And then a bunch of other words in here. So these are words that, even if we don't know these languages, these words specifically we do know, and everyone kind of knows. Just by being names of languages or planets, or being commonly used or commonly referred to concepts. For example, Guressin here. We don't even need to know Guresca to know that this is just the planet of Guressin. Anybody living in the world would know that. Not us, definitely, but that's why we got the global tab here to help us out. All right, so let's do this translation. So, Ki, I, live, Wunsku. What is this? So it's translates to itself again, and it's the distant bubbling planet of Wunsku. So we can bring that in. Seems like we've still done something wrong though. If we look back at Priya again, we can look at the different definitions for this. I live Wunsku just literally doesn't make sense. But what other options do we have? If Wunsku's a planet, it might be occupy, I occupy Wunsku, or it could be I live on Wunsku. Let's try that. There we go. I live on Wunsku. I've heard Wunsku is beautiful. Loads of Wunsky traders have been importing goods to trade with our community, and they always tell us about their planet. Anyway, there are more pressing matters at hand. Anything else I should ask? Alright, so now we can say we're looking for someone, ask about Sattel, or we can try to sell some of Powerl's Gilsec. Let's start with asking about Sattel. I seek Ari, a person, Glot. And look at this word. Look at how many definitions there are here. So this is a special sort of challenge with Hieska. The different languages will challenge you in different ways. And Hieska's big challenge is that a lot of the words have tons and tons of meanings in English. Hieska is a very generalist language. It's a common tongue that people don't really go into detail with. They just kind of learn a little bit, enough to get by, and, you know, if there's some nondescript third-person thing, that's Glot. Don't have to worry about it too much. And that could mean what, that, it, them, something, person. There's a lot of options here. So this one could be a tricky one to figure out what are they actually talking about here. So I seek a person. We got it. I need to be more descriptive than that, though. If the translator is picking up on Hieska, I can probably expand the dictionary a bit. So let's go look. Yep, we can get plurality here, which is nice. And we could also get this relationships and conflict, which should be helpful. The plurality translator upgrade will find and display the plural forms of words in the dictionary. Make sure to use the correct singular or plural form. Yep. And you may need to modify words, like adding s to the end to make them plural. So now we can see the plural forms for this, so we can actually see how they pluralize glot into glotty. If they were saying, using the word people or them plural or something, we'd use glotty here instead of glot. Anyway, let's translate this. My, here's another example of that. My, possession, like my, mine, ours, us, or not us, my, our. These are words about possession, right? Like who owns something or what something belongs to. And they're actually the exact same word as I, me, us, we. So this is more of a contextual situation where for us right now in English it's easier. My just goes straight into gi, but later on we might see gi and not be sure if that means I or my. So that's one of the challenges of Hieska. My sibling, Paniatel, Hio. We can ignore the A. Tier. My sibling is a traitor. Glot. Hio. Missing. And Rel. There we go. We see another word mixed in here. This is a global word, which means we'll be able to see what it means over here in the global tab without knowing the language yet. So it can mean any of these things. Huh, oh, wow. We'll go with O for now. And then, you know, with that, we can just drag it straight in. Sorry. I not. And now we've got a lot of options here too. So here what we might want to do is go on to the next word, try to figure out contextually what that would mean. And it's glot, so there are a lot of options of what it can be here. So thinking about what we just said, I'm seeking my sibling, he's a traitor. This person is saying oh or wow or something. Sorry, I not. Be confident, I'm not confident, or I'm don't have ongoing knowledge of what would make sense here. We could try person, maybe them. We'll put a couple options in there for now, and then we'll go look what we can get with Anphora. I not be certain them. That doesn't make sense. We could try I not know them. That works. And it helps us out a bit and gives us do there, which is another word that isn't used in this language, just something for English. Oh, sorry, I do not know them. Oh well, it was worth a shot. I guess it makes sense that Sattel wouldn't have landed in the high-class ship dock. Though it doesn't make sense that they asked me to land here either, because the ship clearly isn't high class. So that's still kind of confusing. We can also ask if they're interested in buying Yelsek, which we might as well get a head start on, as we need to do that for power roll. Do, we can ignore. Tag. Hari. 2, we can ignore. T. So right now it's literally you want trade for Yelsek, and this is what was mentioned before. We can see this is a Guressi word, but it's global, so everyone knows it, including the guy that we're talking to right now. We also see an abbreviation here. We could use Yelsek, just drag it right in like that, or we could use Yel, which is an abbreviation, or a different word for a singular capsule of Yelsek. We can try that here. Different languages use different numeric bases, meaning they use a different number of digits than English's base 10. Hieska uses base 16. The base conversion upgrade can help you translate numbers between bases. So now we are seeing numbers in different bases as well. So there's actually translating for the numbers too. 8FC, this is written in base 16, which this is pretty much indecipherable to us English speakers. But what we can do is we can head over to Hieska again, go on the upgrades, and yep, we can grab the base conversion upgrade here. We'll grab quantity and quality while we're here too. And this lets us translate numbers into and out of base 10. Great. So let's go check that out up here. There we go. So we can see in base 10 in English, 10 translates into base 16 Hieska A. So 8FC here, we can see this is in Hieska as the original's in Hieska. So let's go in here and type in 8FC. Oop, I put a space. And that comes out as 2300 in base 10. So that is the translation between the numbers. Now let's handle the rest of it. E. Just by looking at this, with a number being suggested here, I'm assuming this guy, well, I know already because I made the game, but it looks kind of like this guy is suggesting a price maybe, or suggesting a number to buy or something like that. So it seems like he's agreeing to the deal. So, and then with E, there's a lot of options here, like, okay, all right. So let's just go with okay here. Okay. 1 unit. Belonging to 4 of. 1 of 8 of C we just got. That's the number there. And then quartet. This is here as primary currency. So this would be like dollars or pounds or euros. We can see that there's just the word itself here, and there's also an abbreviation for it, KT, which is probably used in written text and that kind of thing. For now, we can just bring in quartet, and seems like we've done something wrong. Okay, 1 of 2300, that doesn't make sense, that of there. We've also got this hint button down here, and this can help us out. If we right-click, or just click on that, it'll indicate something's off with of there. So let's see what else it could be. 1 belonging to 2300 doesn't make sense, but 1 for 2300 does make sense. So that's the price that we would sell it at. Cheapskate. Sattel always sells our Yelsek capsules for at least 2400. Still, I have a lot to sell. Should I ask for more? So now we've got the choice. Do we want to try to get a little more out of this guy, or should we just accept it for the rate he offered? If we ask for more, of course, we risk that maybe he'll get angry and not accept the deal anymore. But then we also have to weigh that against getting less money out of this, which could be useful later on. I'm going to risk it. I'm going to go for 2400 here. So we're going to say no. The, can ignore that. Ryun, current, price, cart, Hioch. And now we're going to need to translate this back. So now that we're in English, 2400, that's the base 10 English number. Let's go turn that into 2400, and that's going to come out as 960 in Hieska. And then Quartet, we can just bring that in, because that's the current name of the currency again. Let's see. Ooh or ugh, sounds like he's not a fan. Alright, okay, seems like he might be sort of reluctantly agreeing. Glot again. There's a lot of options of what this could be here, so let's continue on for now and try to get some context. So, Glot is okay. Or great. Probably not saying great because he looks a little upset. Let's see what else we can get out of Glot. That is okay. There we go. Great, thanks. Alright, we've secured the deal. Anything else we should ask? We've already asked them both of these questions, so we're just going to continue on for now. So that's our first little look at Hieska and the first the look at the translating system. If we open up our menu here, we've got some quest and stuff, but if we go over to the translator and the unlocks, we can see if we got anything else out of that. We did get recreation and class, which we can unlock here. We've got occupation and script we can unlock in a bit. And we can also see a little menu here with all of the languages. We've only really got 2 notches on here right now. We've got Hieska, which is what we've been speaking, and Gureska, which is our native language. But as we go through the game and we unlock more stuff, this is going to fill up with lots more languages, all with their own unlocks and different ways of being spoken and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, in the full game, you'll go in depth into all the different languages. But for this demo, we're mainly focused on Hieska. We will get to see more of the other languages further along, though. We can also peek into the main bar here a bit. This area isn't available in the demo, but this will be in the full game. One of the main areas that everything will be taking place in. Here's another person we can talk to. Let's see what they have to say. Hello. Trader. Familiar words. You might already, if you've been watching for a while, you might have already started to pick up on tier as trader too, because that's a pretty common word. Then is hello. And as we go along here, we're kind of getting used to the language. We're starting to learn it a bit. You even have these little visibility toggles up here where if we want to really challenge ourselves, we can try to do this without the translator. But this early on, we're not going to worry about that, and we're going to keep using it. Lots of options here, too. We might want to come back to this one in a minute. Use something, but desire. I will actually just type in desire. Kind of a, well, we can't put that in there, but we'll just say desire. And come back to that in a minute. You desire. I spaceship. So that doesn't make sense. If we go in here, that's not I. That's probably gonna be my. You desire by spaceship, and then desire we just made up. Oh, but it's actually one of the definitions. We can search for desire, and this will come up here, which is nice. You want my spaceship? We might be getting offered it. Looks like that's wrong. Let's double check the hint here. Yeah, it is want that's wrong. You seek, you care for, you like my spaceship. There we go. Let's see. Glot again. That's one I'll come back to in a minute. Something is... We'll actually go back to Glot now. I'm going to try it. It is... One for... Best, better, finer, finest. We'll say best. Oh, we've actually encountered a plural word. So we got that plurality upgrade a little while ago. That's going to let us identify and translate these plural words. So Crete, when we search for that, it searches for Crete, which is the singular, but the plural form of that word is Crete, which comes out as ship or spaceship. So what we can do here is we can bring in spaceship and then pluralize that in English, which we do just by adding an S on the end. It is 1 for best spaceships. 4 looks wrong here. Yep, it's 4. One of best spaceships, and then it'll fill in the for us, because that's one of the words we don't have to worry about. It is one of the best spaceships. All right, how do we want to respond? Wow, beautiful, or it looks uncomfortably small. We might be a little rude. Let's go with this. Really, it is really small. So now when we search for really here, we actually have two definitions that this could be, right? This could be Hokal, which means more, greater, bigger, or more dramatic, or it could be E here, which indicates agreement or approval. So it could be like, oh, really? Or it could be like, really something. So for this first really, this sounds more, actually, if we look at E here, we can see it says indicates doubt when used in a question. So it's likely going to be E here for this. That's Clot, Hio, and we're back to really again. But this time, we're kind of more qualitatively talking about it. This time, we're actually going for Hokal. More dramatic, more greater, bigger. So Hokal, Pikal, small. It is really small. So that's kind of a cool look there at not only do we have to worry about this with glot and words like this that have a bunch of definitions in English, we actually have words that in Hieska can mean, there could be two totally different words for something that we might mash into the same word in English. We're seeing some new words here. This one we've seen before. O is a safe bet. Gata. And now this guy's angry now, so FU does not take kindly to his spaceship being insulted. And we've actually just unlocked our first new language besides Hieska here. We can go take a look at this, and it's Ueska. Our dictionary here, as we look through, is pretty limited. There's not a ton of words here. We can actually, if we want to, we can go into our translator upgrade screen here, and we can read about it. So Ueska is the dying native language of the water planet of Ueda, one of here's first languages and the foundation for, okay, yada yada. Yeah, all kind of stuff like that. But we can see that it's a dying kind of language. And we can see down here, it perseveres in passing phrases and small islander communities, but no longer represents that planet entirely. So this is where we could expect to see this language used, little pieces being mixed in into Hieska, most likely. So let's figure out what this means. Fly to, transport. We'll try fly. Box or cube. We'll go with cube. Could be anything here. Let's go to the next one and figure it out. Simulton. Simiol comes up. What we're going to want to do here is bring up the plurality upgrade, install that, and then we can make sure, yeah, so Simulton here, same word. And if we look at this, it says crest, fin, glider, wing. You fly cube with, and this word is plural, cube with wings, most likely. Sounds like our ship is now getting insulted. You fly a cube with wings. Hieska always places negation, no, not, before a verb, not after. Anytime you see hio and, double check your word order. And then we get an example of use here. So, you not are happy is what would be said in Hieska rather than you are not happy. Let's hop back over to Hieska here. We can actually see this in our little language structure section here as well. That we've got an example here too. So let's see if that comes up. Glot. Hio. And now there it is, right? So is to be not, which is what we say in English. We say it is not, but in Hieska it's an hio, not is. So an hio. A we could ignore. Great, another situation where we need to figure out which great are we talking about here. We've got great in kind of a general sense, and we've got great like extraordinarily special. So probably don't mean this. We probably just mean the general Gethal. Crit, easy. Thankfully, with so many English words just turning into a singular translation in Hieska, responding is pretty easy, and it's mainly understanding what other people are saying that's the big challenge in this language. But with other languages, that's not always the case. Sweet, we got a lot of points for that one. You are common knowledge, obviously, obvious, public. What's next? Ignorant, insane, or stupid. Let's try stupid. You are stupid. You are obviously stupid. You live where? This one we've seen before. Tag Briette Dort. We actually had this at the very start. We had to rearrange the word order because this is what word order they'd use in Hieska, but in English we'd say where you live or where do you live. There we go. I'm Guressi. Hio. Yep. Use that one a lot. Guressi we can just drag in because this is just the name of this people. Can you be agreeable? Kyuta. Tag. Ba. Ba is another big one here. But this isn't working. But we can notice there's a question here, which is an indicator that we might need to rearrange some things. So in English, we say, can you be agreeable? But in Hieska, we'd say, you can be agreeable. So you tag, and we've actually got some extra context on what these words would directly mean in Hieska. All right. O. I understand. Oh, I understand. Tag, you. Fly again. A plural word. Slave, a slave, likely from Guressin. So plural slaves, slaves. You fly slaves with you spaceship. That's not going to be you, that's going to be your. So now we're getting accused of being a slaver. This is something that we got hinted at back in Wellacre Blot, where we live, that there was kind of a history of slaving on Guressin. And while that's not something that really anybody on Guressin wanted to happen, other than a sort of upper-class government that took control of the planet, the rest of the system kind of has a fear that anybody from the planet, if you're rich enough to leave or you've got the resources to be going to other planets and leaving Guressin behind, you're probably, on the side of the slavers. At the point of this game, the slaving's been outlawed for a couple of years now, and Guressin's starting to recover, but unfortunately people haven't caught up that fast. We say absolutely not or walk away. We can't walk away, we gotta show this guy what's up. F no. We don't actually have this word in Hieska, so how can we say this? We can double check our upgrades here. We've got a couple of options that we can go for. The recreation, class, occupation, none of those really, there's that word is not in there. We can check some other languages. We could use this word maybe. We've got this word in Gureska as well. We also have Gata here. This word is global, meaning everyone knows it. This might be a good choice. So we will go with Gata. No, we can go back to Hieska form. He, T, and that's just Yelsek. The resource from before. We got a lot of different types of points for that one, so we can go check in on the languages later on. Now they're real angry. I know not. Lots of options. Let's come back to this. Tag you. I not blank you. Slaver. Alright. I not, or likely I do not. We don't have to add this word, but it can be helpful. This is one of the words that if we look up in here, it's only used in English, we can ignore it. So we don't have to add it, but it might help us phrase. So let's look at Ba again. I do not what you, slaver. Align, agree, arrive. I do not believe you, slaver. That could work. And if it doesn't, we can just come back and kind of bookmark that and come back to that in a minute. Gata, we just saw this word. That's, yep. F and Guressi. Um, let's see what's wrong here. I do not. Do is wrong. It might just be saying that we don't actually need to include that. And then this, go back to Gata, probably F-ing. I do not believe you, Slaver. F-ing Guressi. Alright, we got it. You can actually also see here, this is the name of the game. Gata Guressi. Comes from this guy right here. One idiot. My home planet of Guressin has been plagued by a government of slavers until a couple of years ago, when slavery was finally outlawed. The rest of the system has never helped us or tried to understand. They just assume we're all slavers and avoid us. It doesn't help that I have to sell Parallel's Yelsek, the same resource our people were enslaved to gather just years ago. I'm realizing now that this is going to make first impressions a lot trickier. Telling people I'm Guressi might cause issues. Alright. Well, didn't get any information on where Sattel is there, nor did we make any sales of our Yelsek, but we did kind of come to the realization... Oh, we got a prompt head inside. We did kind of come to the realization that telling people we're Guressi might not be the best idea. It's something that we could either try to educate people about, maybe, or it's something that we might try to hide to make sure conversations go more smoothly. Something just for us to consider down the line. We can go talk to this person, see if they've got anything that can help us. My sibling is lots of options here as well. Really, we saw before, we'll try that. Really ignorant, insane, stupid. Glot again. So we'll just put Glot here for now and come back to it. Glot is all, always, every. What's next? Late, later. Let's try late. Always late. How about they for Glot? And then is just gonna get swapped out for R. They are always late. Plural word here, Tiri. So this is the plural of tier for trader. So we're gonna go in and add an S at the end here. Traders. Traders, all right. Traders, really? Traders, right? Yes, my sibling is similar. E. This should be an easy one. Gi. Paniatel. Hyo. Lie. And then, speaking of missing siblings, yeah, let's see if we can get some info here. Gi, Paniatel, Hyo, we can dodge A, Tier, Glot, Hyo, Anrel, Ga. 2 could also mean and or also here. Do you know them? So we ignore do. Let's see. We're just saying you know them. Now what did they say? You, Harry, don't know what that's gonna mean yet, so let's get some context. At, with, let's just get some context for that too. Calais Tiridor. So this is actually, we've seen this before. This is just the name of the place and their global words. So Pinnacle Trade Port. We can actually see it on Calais here. The title of Bowen's renowned tourist destination, Calais Tiridor, the Pinnacle Trade Port. So you something something Pinnacle Trade Port. Let's see what we can put in for that. You desire with inside. We're looking at the door here. It might be inside. And you seek inside, search inside. Let's try that. You search inside Pinnacle Trade Port. One thing we should actually notice here is up on the structure, we can see commands don't omit you at the start like we do in English. So if you want somebody to leave, in English you just say leave. But in Hieska they say you leave. So they've put this tag you at the start, but we actually don't do that. Alright, Tiri again. Trader plural. Traders. are this word again. All, always, every. We'll try always for now. And plural, door. Dory. Traders are always, always here. We could try. Everywhere. That's a bug. That shouldn't be showing that. But I will do it the right way, because luckily I know what it's supposed to be. Not there, everywhere. We could try, we could do, well, that's good, but there are lots of options of what we could put in here. We could put, since it's plural, really what we want to do is like all places is how they would say it in Hieska. And that's why door is plural here. It's like multiple places, so all places is how they would say everywhere. And then thanks. Oops. All right. So I guess we'll head inside. We did have the quest from before to do that. All he has to me, sure. We had drink, music, trade. Head inside. I'll probably be able to find a lead on Satzel inside Cali Tirador. I should head for the busiest areas, so let's do that. Oh, we're getting stopped. Yep, stop. Trader. You no are, you not are, and then they always have their negation before the verb, but we would put it back here. Heal and are not. Classy, high class, because we're in the high class ship dock. So we're actually being stopped because we don't belong up here, which we noticed before too. Tag Briador, this is one we've seen before. You live where? That's where you live. Where do you live? So now we've actually got a choice. We could say that we're from Guressi, but as we saw before, that doesn't always go well. We could also try to lie and say we're from here on Villain. Let's see how that goes. Gi, Hio, Boweni. Of Villain, a person, place, thing from Villain. That's what we want. Haha, that's just a laugh. E. Yes. You have, own. Actually, before we even translate this here, we can see that they're talking about Guressi. So I kind of, well, I already know, but you get the feeling that we've probably been caught out for something. You have Guressi accent. I didn't think it'd be that obvious. All right. O or huh? We'll try O. O is more generic. Sorry. You are one unit, probably just one. One belonging to traders. Belonging to, can't be belonging to again, right? One belonging to traders for, let's see what Thamsius is here. Nothing. This seems like a person's name. Okay, let's bring that in. Traders of Thamsies. You are one of traders of Thamsies with the that'll just get autofilled. Oh, sorry, you are one of the traders of Thamsies. All right. They must think I'm someone else. Maybe that's why they told me to land here. Better not correct them though. I don't know if they let low-class foreigners in up here. You can go inside. So it looks like we lucked out. All right, we've made it into this foyer area here. Now we're gonna head downstairs. We can see a sign here too. This must be a written Hieska, some kind of advertisement or announcement maybe. Let's see if we can read it. Lots of weird symbols here. How do we translate this? Let's go up here. We can install this script upgrade. Let's take a look at it. The languages up here use varied writing systems. You'll need to decode words from their original scripts into the English alphabet first, then translate their meanings. Find the script tab in the top left to decode these glyphs. So now we've got a key here where we can input these characters and try to figure out what they mean. We probably won't do this full one, but we'll at least take a little look at how it works. So that first character, that curved one there, that is a R, which we can see right there. So we'll type in R. We've got the straight line, that's an I, R-I. We can actually see that this word read, this is actually a word from another language that we haven't unlocked yet. And we'll see this a lot as we type words in and things. We'll pass through words in other languages, which is kind of cool to see the translator picking up on. Now we've got this triangle shape here. That is a U. And then that shape right there is a N. Ryu and yep, sure enough, that's a word in Hieska. Also, just if we had tried to search for this right here, it would just say can't decode. It will not just automatically do this for us. But it will be able to find Ryun. So let's see what this says. Currently, immediately, now, right now, today. We'll try now. This right here is a comma. With the punctuation, we can actually just drag it. It'll just do it for us. That's fine. So we'll grab that punctuation. That's the same one. And that looks like an exclamation point. Yep. So what's inside here? That is going to be a B, I, L, A, G, O, and then the LA again. Bilagola. We can actually see that's here on the sign too. Now, Bilagola something. Let's figure this out. That's the A character, so A. We've got, what's next? Y. E. T is that arrow. We've actually hit a Hieska word on our way here. Let's see what that is. Music or song. And then that Y is the I from before. Oh yeah, now we just made the plural word for version of that word. And then that box shape is the H. And that's a whole different word. Ayati, perform or play, to play music. So we can actually see if we look up ayat here, all of these words are related to music. It's a musician, music or a song, perform or play music, a stage, somewhere where music is performed. And that's how a lot of the languages work. They're very root-based. So ayat is this music root that'll then be used in different ways. Ayatel, that L at the end means it's someone who does this. Someone who musics in whatever way. Or ayatidur, this is like a place where ayat is done. We can actually see that with like tier here, a trader. Multiple traders is tiri, and tiri door is trade port. Door comes from area, location, place. So it's literally trader's place. And then that makes that's how Kali Tiridor means literally pinnacle, like the shape of the sort of mountain thing we're in. And then Tiridor, trade port, pinnacle trade port. Anyway, Ayeti. Now, Bilagola, perform, play. Let's see about that. There we go. And we got it. We won't continue translating this for now. I'll leave this puzzle for anybody who wants to play the demo. But that's how the translation works for the written text. Different languages in the full game will have different writing systems as well. So while Hieska uses an alphabet, different languages will have different ways of writing words, similar to languages in the real world. So that's something I'm really excited to implement. We've actually got a new language here. This is Volenska. As always, we can go take a little look at it. We don't have to read all of this, but it's the language, the standard dialect of the language spoken by the Voeni, so the people who live on this planet. So this will probably be an important language to learn. This is one that we're going to see a lot too. While Hieska is the common tongue that's kind of used by people whenever they don't really know what to use to speak to someone, Volenska is going to be what the natural, the local people here speak, and it's kind of going to be the default language for a lot of people. So it's really relevant to learn. Hello. Sesme, doer of, or So now this is definitely starting to get into more advanced stuff here, right? This doesn't literally translate into an English word the same way. This means someone who blanks. We can actually see in the example there, it says, Sesme lamavesi, someone who trades or doer of trade is trader. So that actually helps us out here because we can see both of those words being used. So doer of trade is actually going to be trader. And so, while in English we have a nice, convenient word for this, they don't really. They've got someone who does trade as two separate kind of a prefix on the front of this word here. Down the line in the full game, I've got some ideas about changing how the prefixes work, having them actually literally attach onto the word and stuff like that, as well as some more kind of word building stuff like that, which I'm really excited to get to down the line. Anyway, that was just a quick little greeting. Let's head on down. We can also see these big banners up on the wall. These are the banners of the different peoples of here, and each of these has a language associated with it, as well as some other shared languages that aren't local to one place only, but instead are used by a variety of people, such as Hieska, that we've been speaking already. Let's talk to this person here. Are you well? Oh, so this person's actually speaking Guresca, right? We don't have to translate anything here because we just speak this language already. So it's kind of nice to run into another Guressi and not have to think at all about what we're speaking. You're Guressi too, and yes, I'm from Old Guressen, so just a different region, I guess. Cool. I am from Wellacree Blot. Yep. We're looking for somebody. I seek my sibling. Have you seen his trader similar to me? Guressi? No, we are few here. Good luck regardless. Oh well. Worth a shot. But we're heading on down. We can see there's more area down here, more people that we can talk to, so maybe somebody will know something. Let's see about these guys. We are on a new language here. So, Lenska. Aska Kus. Aska, good, joy, joyful, well, wellness. Meeting or met. A meeting of 2 plus people. So it's kind of like good meeting or happy meeting or something. Let's try good meeting. Not quite. Both of those are wrong. Let's see. We can do well met. There we go. Well met. Hello. So this is just the standard greeting for this language. One you might have noticed in Guresca is people always say, "Are you well?" That is, they don't really have a word for hello or anything like that, but they just say, "Are you well?" That's the common way to greet somebody. Anyway, let's head on down here. We've got a cutscene. And now, here we've got one of the main story characters, Usos. Guressi. Alright, what's this guy talking about? We've got Thamsis, again. This is that name that we remember from before. And we can actually save ourselves some of the translating work here based on what we can remember. This is a good opportunity to actually stop and see what we remember off the top of our heads. So tag here, this is a word we've seen a lot. That means you, and we can always go and double check our work. Yep. Hio is, or are, or to be. Weg, we can double check because we haven't seen it too much. That's one of, and now this whole phrase right here, Weg patiri patamsis. This, we actually saw this entire same phrase outside. Plural traders, yep, one of traders of Thamses. If we remember that, we don't even need to look any of this up. We can just put it in. There we go. You're one of the traders of Thamses? Or one of Thamses' traders? No. Who is Thamses? Let's see. Oh, huh. Anyway, regardless, unimportant. Not hunt there. We'll have to go back over here. Oh. Oops. Oh, unimportant. A no T. Stay healed. stay here, stay still, stop, wait. Might have to come back to that one. You have or own, what is this? Translator. You have a translator. Translator is another cool word here, based on the roots. So ska, you'll actually notice is common to all of the language names. Hier ska is like hier ska, and if we, yeah, same for the other ones, US ska, Gureska, Bonska, Lunska. And if we go and look at the actual ska root here, we'll see it's all in these speech words. Say, speak, language, word, like written words, and translator. And this word literally is ska, tier. And tier, if you remember, that was traitor. So it's literally word trader or like word exchanger. Because while tier means traitor here, if we look at T, which is like the verb, we also see exchange on here. So a translator, in its roots, is literally just an exchanger of words or a trader of words. Yes, we do have a translator. Why? E. Yes. I have proposition. He has a proposition or a deal. I have proposition for you. Let's tag again. I have a proposition for you. All right. Vialatel hot manager. This word's interesting. You can see it's multiple words in one here. This is kind of like it's like a compound word, like hot dog or ice cream in English. And we can also break it down again. We can go see what do each of these words mean. Vialatel, that's a worker, and hot is authority, so an authority worker, or like the topmost worker in this case. So manager of Cali Tirador, that's the establishment we're in, even gives us a little hint here. Owns, problem, conflict. The manager of Cali Tirador has a problem. We also got a little extra points for using something with a phrase at the bottom there, which is a nice little bonus. Big, more, really, let's see what the next word is. Important, valuable, or worthy. We'll try important. A very important note is hidden, missing. And rail is another word that we've already seen before too with while we're looking for our brother Sattel, we've been using ANRAIL a lot to say, my brother is missing, or I'm looking for a missing person. So now we see it used in this context. Very important note is missing. That's not right. Note is not right. Message, text, document. A very important document is missing. I can... Lots of options here. Let's come back to this in a second. And lots of options here. All right, so this one might take a few tries. This is a tricky one. I can, let's see what this says. To suddenly learn or realize, or to meet, to notice, to become aware of. I can see it, but that's not right. C is the only wrong word here. So let's see what else. Oh, and now that we've gone for C, we're now hitting other definitions as well. We've now got one that's more about general ongoing perception as well as just the realizing or observing, noticing suddenly. So let's go back to re again. I can, so it's a missing document, so it's probably going to be find. I can find it. I can find it, but I know not say, this word is plural, so whatever this word is going to be, it's going to be 2 plus. I not say words, but Hieska, that's the language we're speaking. Also to and Urska, Ursen's international language. This is a language that we haven't encountered yet. So what is he saying here? I not say words but Hieska and Urska. He's saying, Hieska and I only speak these languages. How has he phrased it? I do not, we can put in to help ourselves here. I do not say speak words, that's plural still, word, languages. I do not speak languages, but except. I do not speak languages except Hieska and Urska. Alright. So, there's a missing document that he's looking for, he can find, but he cannot speak languages except for Hieska and Urska. So he needs our help because we have a translator. We can help him with some sort of communication or translating job that he needs help with. So I am busy. Why should I help you? Something's wrong here. Gata. This is actually, so this is the verb, right? So once again, since we're in a question, we got to double check our word order. So it's actually why I should help you. So that's going to go right there. Let's see. Why should I help you? Easy. Or simple, maybe. Maybe we'll get an explanation. Simple trader. Gi, that's plural. So we're going to go over here. It's not I, multiple. It's we. We buy, exchange, sell, trade. Let's see. This is going to be referring to the document again. We something document. We sell the document, maybe. Yeah. Caliteriador. No, not. Lots of options here as well. We'll just put desire in again. And then come back to that in a minute. Skeletet document again. Hio. No options that make a lot of sense here. Let's just bring in Hio and go to the next one. Caliteriador, so, you know, the people at Caliteriador. Not desire or want in some way. The document to be, we could actually just go to be here. Common knowledge, obvious, public, public. And then we go back to desire, and what makes sense here? Not like, not care for, not seeks, want. Caliteriador do not want the document to be public. So we'd find this document, blackmail their manager, and get rich. Sounds shady, but I might need the money later. What should I do? Well, that sounds like a lot of fun to me, so I'm going to say I'm in. Alright. What? Hio. A we can ignore. Deal, Kenya, again. Gathal, that is great. You can find, meet, we'll say, we'll just go on for now. We'll slot that in and we'll see what else. You can something, my, after. That's not going to be my, that's I. Or actually, no, that's going to be me. You can re me after, later. You can find me later, meet me later. There we go. Alright. Goodbye. Same word as Ben again. Hello and goodbye under the same word. Alright, so we just signed up for some kind of shady deal, but in the full game, so we can't actually continue this quest line in the demo here, but in the full game, this is one of the main sort of quest lines that goes on here at Caliteriador, which involves tracking down a document, kind of piecing it together, and it'll really put your translation skills to the test to figure out what is this document, why are they so afraid of it getting public, And can you make a bunch of money off of selling it, and then can you benefit from that in some way? And also, namely, we'll help you find Satchel, which is the whole reason we're here, is we want to find our brother. So anything we can do to that end will be great. Oh, and also, selling the Yelsec for power roll. All right. International blackmail. Speak to Busos. I wonder what that missing document is about. Must be bad if they're so concerned about it. All right. So we're coming up to what looks like reception here. Cali receptionist. Then ban. Another compound word. What is this? This is welcome. An invitation or welcome. Literally hello in. We can look once again at both the words if we want to. Then being hello. Ban meaning with, inside, in. So this is like kind of like come on in or come in or something like that, but it's using the word hello. So once again, it doesn't translate literally to English, but we've got the compound word here to help us out. Welcome. You say, that's Hieska, which is the language. It's not going to be say, it's going to be you speak Hieska. Instead, kind of, Valenska here is the language of the Vweni, which we saw used a little bit before. So we can say, you speak Hieska or Valenska. Nice. Certain conversations will give you the opportunity to choose what language to continue in. You can stick to a language you're familiar with or test your skills in something new. Keep in mind you'll likely need to continue using the chosen language for the rest of the conversation. So here we can kind of stop and think, do we want to try this in Hieska, Valenska, or Gureska? We can try Gureska here because we know that kind of auto-translates for us. That's our native language. Let's see if we can try Gureska. Do you speak Gureska? Let's see. Not, seems like it's not gonna work. I not understand. Oh, observe, understand, I meant. I do not understand. You, say it again, you speak Gureska. Clearly not. This is in Valenska. No. Well, what else can we do here? You can speak instead plural. This word is plural. Languages. You can speak not instead, but other. You can speak other languages, and then because of how their word order is with questions, that's going to be, they're saying like this. We need it in our proper English, so we're going to go, can you speak other languages? All right, now which of the two do we want to do here? We've done quite a bit of Hieska already. Let's experiment a little bit. Let's go try out Valenska and see how we do. All right, so Biema, Bie, that's I, first person pronoun. We can see that in this language, ownership is not mashed in with the first person like it is in Gureska over here, or not Gureska, Hieska. So there's one change we can notice already. Speak, Valesi, and then Valenska, that's just the language. And we've done something wrong. Let's see, Valesi is wrong here. So we know that we've picked the right word as far as we know. We've got all the upgrades that we need. Let's go look at the structure again. So we've got subject, object, verb order. This is different to English. So in English, we go subject, verb, object. I perform song. But in Valenska, it's subject, object, verb. So I song, perform. So it's not going to be I speak Valenska here. It's I, Valenska, speak. And speak was Valesi. So we're going to move that to the end. And there we go, we got it. In languages like Valenska and Urska, sentence types can be explicitly defined by a sentence type marker rather than punctuation. Instead of literally translating these, consider how they'd be represented in English. So in proper Valenska, wis, bie, wieval, imejal, that means question, you song perform. But in proper English, that's do you perform a song. Do is one of those words that we don't have to worry about, so we can ignore that here. But we do have to notice that There's no question mark used in Valenska. There's no punctuation that indicates this is a question. It's this instead it's this wis at the start, and then we're gonna have to go in and put in that question mark ourselves. So there's the word for question. Let's take a crack at it here. Ivema, good. Question, and we had a pop-up here. This is a sentence type marker. Don't translate it literally. So we actually don't want this to sit in our translation. Instead, we, like the tutorial said, we want to consider how this would be represented in English and figure out the proper way to translate it. So in English, we don't say question at the start of our questions. Instead, we just put a question mark at the end, which would replace this period over here. So that'll be kind of like the translation for that. Then we can omit this word, and now what's left is Vilsa, Bula, Yen. So let's look at these. Meaning, purpose, reason. We'll try purpose. You here. Purpose you here. Sounds like they're asking why we're here. Yeah, why you here? Why are you here? And it actually filled in the R there for us. And if we go and look at it, we can see R is not used in this language. This is a zero copulo language, meaning it omits to be. We can see that over here on the side too. So what this means is, in this language, that to be, anytime we would be using that, we can just ignore it, and the omission of any verb just means that to be is used there. So here where it says child happy, that literally just means child is happy. So that's something we'll want to look out for as we go forward, that word might be missing. I'll just say I'm a Yelsek trader. That's always worked for Statel anyway. Fact, so that's bije, used at the beginning of a sentence to indicate it is of great certainty. So this is another explicit sentence marker that Valenska uses here. Bien, I am, and wait, we can see here, Valenska doesn't use to be. You could ignore this word. Right. So this is actually falling in with a and the, words like that now. It's a word that we can just totally ignore. So we're just going to say, I, trader of Yelsek. Let's grab trader. But we don't see any literal translations here. And there's nothing in the upgrades that can help us out here. So how do we do this? We actually ran into this before. We can see there's two words that showed up here, both of which we're actually going to need to use in conjunction. So there's doer of, or and there's lamavesi, which is the verb trade, to trade. So what we kind of want to do here is doer of trade. And we can see by the little hyphen here by sort of how we connect this on. So, and also in these examples, we can see sesme lamavesi, someone who trades, or trader. So this one word trader is now going to come down into sesme lamavesi, and it even gives us a helping hand here. It says that that means trader. Of, we're going to grab swim for ownership or relation, and then we can just grab Yelsek as always, and that should be good. Yeah. So literally what we just said is fact, I, trader of Yelsek. Or fact, I, doer of trade of Yelsek. So you can start to see how the different grammar of these languages impacts sort of how they would think and the way they see things. And especially with some of the other conversations in this demo, especially past this one that we're in right now, you'll kind of see the difference in values between different languages and cultures too. There's a conversation up ahead that I probably won't get to in this stream, but that one is sort of an argument about the value of art versus money. And in that argument, well, I guess we can actually, we'll just finish this one and we'll head over there and I'll show you. But it's not just an argument of culture; it's also an argument of vocabulary, where the meanings baked into the words are not what they seem at first. But we'll go check it out next. Okay, great. Cool, so that flew. And then fact, we don't literally translate that. It's just telling us that this is a fact, so we'll remove that at the end. You come, go, visit, travel, walk. We'll say go. You go in. am able, are able, can. You go in, can. So they're saying, fact, you can go in. That's once again using the Valenska word order, where the verb is always at the very end of the sentence. Great, thanks. Ulofalam. Sweet. So we've gotten past the receptionist here, and now we're free to continue on. As far as the demo goes, though, this is as far as the story is going to take us. But there are more translations around that we can do, and in the full game, we'll be able to continue past here and go check out the main bar inside here. But for the time being, that's off limits, unless you've got a secret password from me. So if you want that, you can message me or something. We've also got we've got more conversations around here that we can do. There's people all over the place, even hidden in some places. There's a sneaky little guy back there. But we won't worry about all of those. Instead, we'll just go over to this conversation here, where they're talking about what I was mentioning before. And this is in a new language. This is in Hikiska. So this, we can go get a little read through on it. It's a pidgin created for communication between two groups, created and used for interplanetary commerce in Hierarchy or North. So this is all based on stuff that we're unfamiliar with. This is a trade language used by planets that we've never really heard anything about. So let's start on this. No or not. It's not going to be not. It's going to be no. Idiot. So sounds like an argument. Looks like an argument too. Helenas, art, is Meselta of great moral, societal, or humanitarian value. Should or ought to be. So valuable, quintessential. Now we've got another language here. This is Urska. This is what that guy Busos was talking about before. He said he could only speak Kieska and Urska, and thus needed our help. This language we can actually also see uses the sentence types markers, same as Valenska. So let's take a look at these. Dol, statement. So if we recall, we can actually go double check real quick. Look for statement and go over here. Valenska doesn't have a word for statement like that. The closest they had was one for fact, or something that was of great certainty, but just for a statement they wouldn't use one. So we can see here that they're it seems like these guys are a little more literal with things. And we can actually, as we go through here, we're going to see another one right off the bat. We have a request, a marker for a request. We can see what else we find in here. An observation. So these get very in-depth. It's picking the right one of these is something to consider. Command. Yeah, lots of options here. We won't look through anymore, but the sentence types markers are clearly a big part of what's going on here. Let's start looking at the rest of the translation. This can mean Kartet or KT in Hieska. That's just the currency. Can also mean money, value. We'll start with Kartet just because we're familiar with it. Shu-Q. Unable, cannot. We'll try cannot. So Kartet cannot achieve, earn, gain, get. Let's try get. And art again, which was used before. So now this is very confusing, right? This doesn't make, well, we'll get rid of the statement, but this doesn't make any sense at all. Kartet cannot get art. Let's see, nothing else. Money cannot achieve art. Well, now we don't want Kartet, we want car. That still doesn't do it. And we're not even close enough that we get a hint. So let's go over to our structure tab here, and let's see. So actually, right off the bat here, we can see object, verb, subject order. This is reverse of English, pretty much. So statement, if they say, money earn I, in English, that's I earn money. So we actually need to flip whatever's around the verbs, we need to kind of flip around here. So money cannot achieve art. That's actually the opposite. Art cannot achieve money. And then let's check the hint here. We're a lot closer now. It's not achieve. Art cannot earn money. We're back in Hikiska now. This guy actually has a translator too. You can see that's the same device that we've got over our eye, which is supposed to be kind of like diegetically like the all this stuff up here that we're looking at as we figure out what people are saying. They, it, speak, say. It's probably going to be speak or maybe say, because we can see these quotes here. So something say, they say. Hellenis, that's art. You've seen this word used a lot so far. I want so art not earn or earn money. And then art does not earn money. Does should have been autofilled there. That's a mess up on my part. We've actually just unlocked another language, so let's go with this. Predesca. We've got a free upgrade that we can just get right off the bat, plurality, so let's grab that. And Predesca is the language of the high-class artists and musicians of the airborne cities in Freden's northern region key. Cool. Here's oldest language. So we can actually go over here now and, oh dang, that's another bug unfortunately. I'm supposed to be showing our language slider here. What I might do is quickly save, return to the main menu, and we'll be able to look at that. Alright, we're back in this conversation. Yep, we've said all this. And then this is where we were. And now if we go over here and look at all languages, there we go. Now we can see our progress on all the different languages. Which ones have got upgrades that are available for us. Yikiska, we're going to want to grab. Yep, plurality, nice. That'll be helpful. Urska, we've actually got plurality as well. These are languages that are being used in this conversation, so it's relevant to grab those. You can see we've done a lot of Hieska. The bars actually go relatively low on this version because there's going to be a lot more Hieska than just what we've done so far in the final game. And then pretty much all of these you'll go into in depth. They won't all be at the same level. Like Ueska here, for example, this was what we saw was more of kind of a bank of vocabulary from a dying or extinct language. Not extinct language, dead language. And then some will be more or less relevant to us, like Gureska we don't really need to worry about because we already speak it. Hieska is a lot more common, same with Voenska, which everyone speaks here. So there'll be a bit of a balancing act between them, but there'll definitely be more focus on each language per sort of part of the story, where this earliest part has put us through Hieska, where the words can mean lots of different things, and then eventually there'll be challenges per the different languages. For example, with Voenska, we've seen one of the big challenges is the word order, figuring out how to shuffle words around to get to the meaning we need. And the different languages will even come with some unique UI elements and things down the line based on the different challenges that they represent. I don't want to talk too much about them because I don't want to give too much away. But I will spoil a little about Ueska here, the dead language. The idea is that eventually, right now all the words have definitions, but eventually they'd all be like this right here, where we don't really see any definition here, and all we see is references to other words. If we know those words, luckily this one's in Gureska, so we know it, we can go see what that means. Currency, financial value, or cost, cool. And then we can go back to this word again, and we go to car, and now since we know that in Urska, we can see that means currency or financial value. So now we can kind of intuit that Kolu here means the financial value or financial worth of something. Ideally, down the line, all the words would be like that, and you'd be able to kind of put in your own definitions, figure it out for yourself by kind of tracing back the roots of these words, seeing where they came from. As you can also kind of see the roots here, they're related by kind of where they came from. Cowl came from Kolol. Car came from this as well. A big part of Urska is that they abbreviate a lot of their words down to being very short, single-syllable words. Just going over here and looking at Urska, we can actually see that. And another fun thing they do is they pluralize by repeating the word twice. So there's no fixed no suffix at the end or anything like that. They just say the word again, and that's good enough to be plural. Anyway, let's get back to the conversation here. So we've got a plural word here and a plural word here. This is an adjective. So this is the first time we've seen a plural adjective. If we hop over to the language info here, the structure, we can see that you pluralize nouns in Hikiska to match their, or sorry, you pluralize nouns and their adjectives in Hikiska. Um, I actually forgot to put a good example for this, but it still kind of does the job. So we are not going to have to pluralize this in English because, we don't pluralize adjectives in English. But in this language, were we to be translating from English into Hikiska, we would need to pluralize this adjective to match this word, which is actually in another language too. This is in Predeska, and this is plural idiot. So effing idiots. And we've got a lot there. I'll leave the rest of this conversation for you to play in the demo. There's more dialogues around as well. There's some stuff in a couple of conversations in a language we have not seen yet, which is one of the more fleshed out ones. That one's quite cool. We've also got a couple conversations here in Valenska. There's more Hieska all over the place. I also want to talk a little bit about the environment in this area too. I really am happy with how this area turned out. I've had to redo the lighting quite a bit to light out the characters properly. The character models have been quite a pain to get right. But I'm really happy with how this area turned out. It's super regal and, gives you a really grand entrance into the bar in here, which is actually quite a bit smaller once you're able to get inside. And we've got all the banners up. So for this demo, I've disabled being able to inspect these. Normally you're able to look at them and you can learn a little bit about the different planets, maybe get a couple points that way. But just for the time being, you can't. But that's the thing to look forward to in the main game is that you'll be able to get some info from inspecting these and hearing Kugel's thoughts on them. This area will also be available in the main game, but it's not for the time being. I really like the water features and the statues in here too. Really happy with how everything in this area turned out. Anyway, we'll head back up to the top level. Oh, and of course, there's the written text there too. There's a couple more. There's a couple more written texts in the environment, which you can try to find. Yeah, I think I will probably just about wrap this up. Hopefully, it's been fun to watch along, and hope you enjoy playing the demo. And yeah, look forward to the release of the game, which is coming later on this year. So see you in a bit.